Corn School is brought to you by BASF and Pride Seeds.
Joining us here on Real Agriculture for this episode of the Corn School, we have Schwarz of Pride Seeds. And Dieter, with corn harvest underway, this is also the time when corn growers are thinking about next spring and which varieties to choose to plant in 2016.
Certainly, this time of year I get a lot of questions as to how did your products perform, how do I make decisions on next year, and with all that said, we're actually standing in a field here where we just finished harvesting a trial, what I call a strip trial, where we have a number of the growers' favored hybrids and some new ones that we want him to try to look into the future in terms of that variety selection that we just talked about. So let's put your old favorite up against kind of the new gun on the block, and let's see how they stack up. And that's what we've done here. So we often get questions as to hybrid selection, and this year it was a bit of a challenge because the hybrids that performed best were the long season hybrids. We had a really unique year in terms of excellent heat units, adequate, if not excellent moisture in some areas, and of course that allowed the plant to take advantage of all the heat, all the nutrition, all the moisture, and produce excellent yields, particularly our full season hybrids that we put in the plots. So a grower can tend to look at that real big gun in the plot, the 2350, almost 2400 heat unit hybrid that did phenomenal this year. And we have had some growers that have commented, well, I want to grow all my acres to that hybrid next year, because what they're looking at are the bushels and ultimately the profit in the end. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that it was a one-year deal. I would love for every year to turn out like this year, although averages, of course, are against us. So my recommendation to growers are to look at that new hybrid, maybe put 10 or 15, maybe even 20% if you're willing to risk that into that new full season hybrid that gives you that excellent bushels, great yield. However, put 60% of your acres into your, what I call your workhorse hybrid, the consistent hybrid that gets it done year after year. That'll give you your consistent bushels, your consistent quality bushel weight, and in that moisture range that you're trying to get to at harvest time. And then the other 20%, try something a little earlier. We have some great new hybrids, such as the one we're standing in front, that are a bit on the earlier side but produce excellent bushel weight, which, according to the grower that is hosting us here on this field trial, he's had many positive comments from his grain buyer in regards to the high bushel weight that we're able to provide with those early hybrids. So look at the whole picture. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as the old adage goes. Try the new hybrids out. We'd love for you to call us and asking for some trial seed to try it on your farm, and but try a little bit at a time. Don't bet the entire farm on the new hybrid that you're seeing out there.
Of course, yield and moisture and bushel weight are the three main things that we score the variety on at the end of the year, but there are some other things that contribute to those numbers that we can check up on the field when we're harvesting, see how well the variety did?
Absolutely. So one of the things we do want to check this time of year is how we did in terms of our plant count. So I know many growers now with the new hybrids, with the fixed or determinate ears, growers are starting to push populations upwards, 32, 34, some are even at 36,000. So this time of year is a good time to go and do a quick plant stand count, see how well your hybrid performed, how well your plan to plant 32,000 worked out, and just do a quick plant stand count. And while you're doing that, you can also evaluate the standability of your hybrid, see if there's any lodging, any root damage, any tassel breakage, that sort of thing. Really evaluate the health of your hybrid. We had extraordinary winds here yesterday in the neighborhood of 100 kilometers an hour, and the corn is still standing. So that is another attribute that you can really look for, because ultimately if you can't harvest it, all the yield in the world is not worth anything to you. So perfect time of year to really evaluate that health package that we're talking about. Of course, this time of year the plants are dead. But even if you come in a few weeks earlier, you can kind of evaluate which hybrids are still green, still producing that yield and bushel weight, and which ones have already died. So it's a great time of year to look at health and see what you're buying in terms of your hybrid health package.
All right. Well, here's hoping the rest of the harvest goes well, and we'll look forward to next spring. Same time.
Thank you, Kelvin.